Well, welcome. That was a great reception. Thank you so much. Good morning. Namaste. My name is Geoff Johnson. I'm called a Research Vice President in Gartner. I've been 16 years with Gartner covering networking, collaboration, unified communications, those issues across Asia Pacific. Now, I'd like just to begin my presentation today focusing on not just business processes, but how the social world is going to collide with business processes by inviting you to join me in a little participation, please. All those people in the room who would like to see India win the World Cricket Cup, please stand. And please stand. How many? I'm watching for those who are not standing clearly. As an outsider, I found another. Excellent. Would you please now do a 360-degree turn just in your place? Back where we... Thank you. We've had our calisthenics this morning. What a beautiful audience. I love every one of you. Please remain seated. Excellent. 40 minutes was great, Bart, but it's just, now I've got a fresh audience again. Let's go. So, to focus on our material today, I'd like to look at the way, particularly, that India is the same as the rest of the world and the way that India is different in the rest of the world when it comes to social processes and networking. In my job for 15 years, I've been travelling to India. It's only 1 or 2 times a year, typically. But every day of the week, I deal with Indian companies through our interactions, our inquiries, our focus on research for them. And so it's very clear to me, particularly as we spend one-on-one time, about what they're seeing in this area, what they're asking in that area, and what's actually happening in the India environment. And I'd like to share that with you today. So there's 2 broad areas that we think are useful to focus on here. The use of unified communications and collaboration, and also the overlay increasingly of social networks, as Bart has outlined for you this morning. Particularly for the India context, we find that the fundamental infrastructure, the IT infrastructures, are somewhat different from what is assumed in the rest of the world to support this emerging environment, particularly in the regulations surrounding telephony, the use of voice over IP, the use of PBX in India, and its migration into an IP telephony world. We'll touch on that today. But otherwise, India has now got great reach in its networks. Hasn't got the bandwidth you might wish for ourselves in the fixed line networks, but it's got incredible access in the mobility space. 18 million new subscribers to mobile services a month, over 700 million users in an economy of 1.2 million people. It's a fantastic penetration rate and a fantastic growth rate. There is no doubt in my mind where these services will be delivered primarily in India, but will be the mobile devices. That's going to be very important for some reasons that I'll outline in my presentation today. So mobility, use of smartphones, and a very important tool to facilitate social networking in the business context. Increasingly, we can expect to see unified communications delivered through the cloud, and I'll touch on that today and how we expect that to happen. But cloud is not a new phenomenon. For many of us, we will have already experienced it in other ways. So BlackBerry RIM, for instance, is actually a cloud service, a network operating centre in the middle of it. And some of those cloud services have